Alpengeist at Busch Williamsburg and Afterburn at Carowinds are two of the craziest B&M inverts out there. Both coasters have 6 inversions, pull some insane forces, and feature some of the whippiest inversions on any B&M. But which 90s invert is better? Find out in this coaster fight between Alpengeist and Afterburn. Alpengeist opened at Busch Williamsburg in 1997 and was the park's first B&M roller coaster. It stands 195 feet tall, has nearly 4,000 feet of track, and reaches 67 miles per hour. And this coaster is almost a hypercoaster. It is that tall. Afterburn opened at Carowinds in 1999, and for the longest time, it was Carowinds' star roller coaster. It is not nearly as tall, long, or fast as Alpengeist, but it still manages to pack in nearly as much as Alpengeist does. Both coasters have 6 inversions. They both have a vertical loop, Immelman, 0G roll, and a corkscrew, but they differ when it comes to the double inverting elements. Alpengeist has a cobra roll, while Afterburn has a batwing. And these two elements cannot feel more different, but more on that in a moment. When it comes to the general statistics, Alpengeist takes the cake, but it is not all about size. It's about how the coasters use their respective elements. Alpengeist and Afterburn are 1990s B&M Inverts, which tend to have a lot of positive G-forces and whippy inversions, and these two inverts are no exception. Both coasters have some of the whippiest inversions on any roller coaster. Alpengeist's standout moments are its vertical loop and cobra roll. If you have watched Alpengeist enter or experienced it while entering the first half of this element, you know just how crazy whippy it is. It transitions so quickly, especially while sitting in the back row, that it genuinely feels janky instead of fluid. Afterburn's standout moments are its vertical loop, batwing, and corkscrew. You just enter these elements with so much force, especially the corkscrew, which whips you so quickly before entering that helix. Aside from each coaster's standout moments, both coasters have good vertical loops and 0G rolls, but Afterburn's 0G roll delivers much more whip since it comes immediately after its Immelman and not after a brake run. Alpengeist and Afterburn have elements that deliver some good whip, but Afterburn definitely has more whip throughout its layout. While both coasters have plenty of memorable moments, Alpengeist and Afterburn each have one incredibly memorable moment. For those who have ridden Alpengeist, there is one element that is just too hard to forget. The first half of the cobra roll. Something about this element feels broken when you are actually on the ride, but looks so normal when you watch it off-ride. That might have to do with the fact that you enter this element with so much speed and power, especially while sitting in the back row. That janky transition is just so intense. Unlike Alpengeist, Afterburn's most memorable moment is not during the first half of the ride. It's actually during the second half. As good as the batwing is, Afterburn's corkscrew is quite possibly the best corkscrew on any B&M. You flip so quickly through it. While both elements are incredibly memorable, Afterburn's corkscrew is so smooth and forceful, making it the better of the two elements. And when it comes to smoothness, Alpengeist is definitely the smoother of the two. Alpengeist glides through its layout, even with the janky transition during the first half of the cobra roll. Afterburn, however, has developed a noticeable rattle, especially while sitting in the back row. While the back row has the best whip and pulls incredible positive Gs, Afterburn is much smoother towards the front of the train. And that is actually quite surprising because we have ridden older inverts like the Batman clone at Six Flags Great Adventure, which pulls great positive Gs and is pretty smooth. Take it, there is a 12 mile per hour difference between the two, but still, both coasters have great settings in their respective parks. Alpengeist is situated right in the middle of the park, surrounded by trees. Its layout has some of the best vantage points in the entire park, especially underneath the lift hill. Afterburn may not have the best location at Carowinds, as it is situated towards the back of the park, but it sits on top of a hill and offers one of the most iconic plazas of any invert. Seeing the coaster fly over and around you is really cool. Depending on what you prefer, either coaster's setting is great, but Alpengeist's setting is just a little bit better because of how incredible the view of the spiral first drop, Immelman, vertical loop, and mid-course brake run looks. As for re-rideability, since both coasters are B&Ms, they are definitely re-rideable. Each coaster just has elements that you will want to experience again and again. But there is something about Alpengeist's spiral first drop, Immelman, vertical loop, and general location that makes it much more lappable. You just have to contend with the Busch Gardens Williamsburg crowds, as a wait for Alpengeist on a busy day can extend to at least an hour, something you don't have to worry nearly as much about with Afterburn. When it comes to pacing, both coasters have their moments. Alpengeist has such an incredible first half. The spiral first drop, followed by the Immelman vertical loop and Cobra roll, is one of the best starts on any roller coaster. But it is Alpengeist's second half where the pacing falters. You slam to a near crawl on the mid-course brake run, which saps a lot of that power and speed you have, making the 0G roll and corkscrew not as whippy as they could be. Afterburn does not have that problem. It powers through its layout so well. In fact, Afterburn has no mid-course brake run. If there is any knock on Afterburn's pacing, it will definitely be that station flyover, which is the weakest moment on the ride. So Afterburn definitely has the better overall pacing. When it comes to theming, Alpengeist and Afterburn do a great job capturing the overall vibe the parks were going for. Alpengeist Station definitely looks like a ski lodge, and its unique lift hill looks very much like a ski lift. There is even a little bit of theming, but not much, during the ride experience. While not nearly as themed as Alpengeist, Afterburn definitely captures that jet hangar vibe quite nicely. The model jet between the Immelman 0G roll and station flyover is a nice touch for sure. And despite having similar elements, Alpengeist and Afterburn are completely different ride experiences. Alpengeist has a spiral first drop that flies into an Immelman, followed by its vertical loop and Cobra roll. Afterburn has the typical B&M Invert swooping first drop that flies into a vertical loop, followed by its Immelman, 0G roll, and Batwing. And while Alpengeist and Afterburn end with corkscrews followed by helices, Alpengeist's mid-course brake run and height and where the 0G rolls are in the layout change the experience. Afterburn also has that station flyover, which offers a much better breather element than a mid-course brake run. But we understand that Alpengeist needs its mid-course brake run to accommodate a third train given Busch Gardens Williamsburg's higher attendance numbers. Alpengeist and Afterburn are great roller coasters and extremely fun rides. They both have so many great elements. But between the two, there can only be one winner, and that is Afterburn. While it might have a noticeable rattle towards the back of the train, Afterburn has one of the whippiest and most forceful ride experiences out there. It is also one of the only inverts to feature a batwing, making it one of the more unique inverts out there. So let us know in the comments which of these two great coasters is the better invert. And for our full-length reviews for both Alpengeist and Afterburn, check out the links in the description. If you enjoyed this video or are new to the channel, please like and subscribe to see more content like this one. Thank you for watching, and stay tuned for more coaster comparisons and amusement park content from Coaster Adventures, and we hope to see you in the next one.